Oh. Hello everybody, here we are, welcome back. I can keep my mobile somewhere here. Internet work will not be good in that way. So we will be just working on the same thing like WebRTC thing. Just a minute, first of all. Let me get my mobile connected to the PC. Alright, here we are, and I hope it should be fine right now. And the another thing is that I'm actually suffering from sneeze right now, really severely. So I'll have to even take care of myself while being live. And let's simply continue from here on, and let's see how much we can actually achieve. And just let me get one more thing done, because the network connectivity is really poor. It's not stable actually, so let me fix this and then I'm gonna be back. Alright, then let's simply continue from here on. It turns out doesn't matter what I do, it will just always be the same. And apart from this particular thing, I'm gonna be checking the live status. It should be fine in that case. Let me simply turn it off. Okay. Right now it seems to be good. Sunshine is actually coming, so let me turn on the camera. It's actually gonna be like that. And apart from, can I turn it on anyway? Even if I'm okay, let's simply turn it off. Not quite needed. So camera is gonna be off. I'm just simply gonna be going on like this only. Let's close everything. Close this cursor stuff as well. And I merely wanted to focus on that project. So for that thing, let me go to projects and let's start application that I was working with. And of course I will have to ask AI to just help me build the architecture better, because if I actually over here handle everything related to the socket, then how am I gonna be managing changing the UI? So the simple thing is here, Control C, and this particular section, let's delete this, come back here. I hope this screen is actually being shared. I'll actually have to take the help of AI over here. Yesterday I got stuck. If I am managing socket events inside a function, how will I change the UI? This is an important architecture. So right now you are separating UI meeting component and socket logic, but you are asking if sockets are inside a function, how can I change the UI? Correct way, Redux based recommendation. Since you are already using Redux, the cleanest solution is dispatch Redux actions inside socket events. So dispatch Redux actions inside socket events. UI will automatically update from Redux state. So I have to manage the Redux state, and it is just simply asking me to send these things as well there. Socket event, dispatch action, update UI and all. So ultimately this socket events is actually gonna be taking socket meeting and dispatch app dispatch, and that's gonna be good actually. So instead of sending just this much, I can even send the dispatch, and this dispatch will be responsible for changing the things like data and all. Interesting stuff. So let's go with this one only, just a sec. I was just worried about this with the I can even just a minute. Alright, let me keep my mobile there, just like this, and I can turn the video on. Right now this is fine. So what I was just simply saying that, where is my VS Code? Over here, so far I've been only sending a socket and the data. Apart from the data, I can actually send the dispatch from here, so that I'm actually able to use this. Never got this idea, but okay, that's fine. Dispatch. And I'm gonna be using the AI so that it's actually suggesting the things. So dispatch is actually gonna be sent from here, that I already have here. I can go to socket and I will be getting the dispatch here. Dispatch, just like this. And type is any, really there should be a type of dispatch as well. So what is the type of dispatch here? Type of dispatch, I can come back here, the dispatch that I actually have. Type of dispatch in Redux. Okay, it turns out we're not really getting the type for dispatch, or maybe it has the type, and that is the app dispatch. It actually needs to be returned from here. So this is the section, right? Info types, post status, comments, etc. So I hope this way it goes, and for this thing I'll even have to check whether I'm actually exporting the type from Redux or not. So over here, store, I have app dispatch that is being exported, so I should be able to get it here. So the type of dispatch is actually gonna be inside of the socket events. Dispatch is actually app dispatch. I mean, this should be fine. Once I got this dispatch, I should be able to just change the things as per the need, and I can actually change the states. So whenever I'm requesting to join, at that time what do I have to do? There's gonna be one more state right now, and that's gonna be show model, right? And that's again related to the UI part. So what I can actually do, I have two types of slices. First one is gonna be meeting slice, second one is gonna be the auth slice. Inside meeting slice, I have meeting ID, I have name, and this time I'm gonna have one more thing, and that's gonna be model, open model, and that's gonna be false by default, that's right. And over here, open model is actually gonna be boolean, so that it doesn't take a lot of time, so I will be going with this. So open model is actually gonna be false by default, and I will make it true, and as soon as it is true, the model is actually going to be open, as simple as that. And once this thing is done, I can come back here, and just in here, let's start going with the things. So what am I actually gonna do? I have my data, that is type of meeting participants in the sense that is actually being sent. It has all the information of the meeting participant, and if I actually hover over this, so it has connection ID, meeting ID, name, and is host. Okay, so these many things it actually has. Value of is host, is there actually gonna be value of is host? So let's even check on the server side. Over here, when I'm actually sending the information, so ask to connect if a meeting already exists, this host is always true. That's problematic. It should not be always true. In that case, whenever I'm asking to connect this meeting participant section, so it actually be just here. So new participant, and that's actually gonna be host, so it's actually gonna be true over here. Apart from this particular thing, if the meeting already exists, then of course I will be getting the new participant, but over there is host is actually gonna be false. So in that case, if the meeting already exists, so the value of his host is actually gonna be false, just like this. And at the end, of course, I have to add the user as well. So I got the new participants in the meeting already exists, and in that case, I'm just first of all getting the host ID, and I will be asking the user like host to just simply join the meeting, and the request actually goes there. And as soon as the request goes there, I'm gonna be getting this information. That simply means over here I'm getting I should be able to see that. Why am I not able? Okay, am I still on the section? This is the front end part, right? As this is the front end part, so if I just hover over this, so I have my connection ID, meeting ID, name and host. Okay, that's fine. Let's go with this. So once I'm actually here requesting to join, so first of all I have to show a model, like whenever the request actually comes here. So how can I show the model? So for that thing, dispatch I already have, and inside the dispatch I can just simply say do one thing, set user state, and I will be setting what, not this one here. So whenever I'm requesting, at that time I can just simply say there's gonna be an object, and open model. That's actually gonna be true. It's actually gonna be somewhat like this. So I'm gonna be setting the state, and not even set the user, actually set meeting. So if I just, let me check whether it actually gives me some suggestions or not while I'm actually setting the meeting. So dispatch set meeting. So it turns out I don't even have that, so I will have to import it. And how can I import it here? And set meeting, will I be able to directly use that? Hopefully. Set meeting. That is the meeting size. Don't even have the actions. Set state, that's the action or what? Let's check this thing out first of all. So this is the meeting slice. I have the set state. Set meeting state it should be, or set state, that's actually fine too. So I can come back here, and over here set state is something that's I'm gonna be importing from the meeting slice, or to be precise I can make it set meeting state. That would be great. Set meeting state. These suggestions are crazy. So this is gonna be set meeting state, and wherever I'm using this, now I will be using set meeting state to just simply set it. So Control C, and let's go with the set state only because I have used it at many places, so I will have to change that thing too. That's not gonna be right. So set state, and open model is actually gonna be true, and apart from this particular thing, set user, let's not worry about this. So this much I'm gonna be going ahead. So once the open model is actually true, model is going to be shown, and once the model is actually shown, at that time what will I have to do? I've shown the model, then I'm gonna be emitting a message back to the user on the basis of the user's response. So that can be one thing, either the user will grant the permission or user will deny that. In that case I can go to this state again, and over here I'm gonna have one more thing, and that's gonna be permission granted. What can I be naming it? Grant permission, and by default it's gonna be false. So I'm gonna be having grant permission. As for the type for this grant permission, that's actually gonna be boolean, so that it doesn't take a lot of time. So grant permission, this state will be changed. So first of all model will open, and then the user will be granting it, and once the user has actually granted, then I will get it with it can actually be true or false, and once I got the value of it, I will be just sending a message back. So that simply means I can come back here. Dispatch is done. Open model is great. Once the model is open, I will have to handle the things related to that, and after that dispatch, and I can say set state again, and the grant permission is actually gonna be true. Set user, why am I setting the user over and over? And this time grant permission is this particular thing can actually be true, or it can be false as well. So the value of grant permission, how will I be getting that? Do I have to set it here? Not really. It needs to be set somewhere else. The user can actually allow it, or user can actually deny it. And once the user actually allowed or denied it, after that I have to send it back to the user. So sending it back to the user in the sense socket dot to, not like this. So data I have, and I already have this socket over here, so I can emit the message. So socket dot emit, but this time I have to emit where? This time I have to emit this particular message back to my backend, so that's fine. Emit and inform others about the new participants. Not really. Over here, this is gonna be grant and join permission, just like this. And when I'm actually granting the join permission, I have to just simply send the two things from here as data. First one is gonna be the permission granted that I will be getting from there. So in that, first of all, let me get the permission granted as well, and to get that I will have to use the selector. So it's supposed to be going somewhere. Okay, never mind, I'll be just leaving within a minute or so. Until then, what I actually want to do, so whenever grant join permission happens, I wanna send the information from here. So first of all, there's gonna be permission, grant permission, the value of permission granted. Let's name it differently. So over here I can come back here again, and meeting slide, instead of keeping it grant permission granted, just like this, and the value is actually gonna be replaced. So I will have permission granted, the value of it actually can be true or false, and inside this particular section, so I will be sending a permission. Why can't I even see anything when I'm writing? Permission granted, and I will be sending the data. So data in the sense whatever data I have, all the data will be sent. So it's like only one thing I'm sending back to the user, and once the user actually has this much, then it can just get the stuff. That's great. The question is, how will I be getting this permission granted? So I will be getting it from const permission granted, and the value of it is actually going to be a use selector that will become again. I cannot really use selector here directly. For that thing, I will even have to use selector. I will have to pass the selector here, and for passing the selector here, I can go to the socket, and over here inside this page.tsx, whenever I'm passing the dispatch from here, I can even get the selector because that is gonna be needed. And for getting the selector, can I use the selector directly here? That is gonna be problematic. That simply means use selector can only be used because this is a hook, so it can only be used inside inside a component. And for this thing, this use selector, I can directly pass this. So let me check it if it can be passed. So this time use selector is directly going to be passed, and once I'm directly passing this use selector, so it should be able to be used there. So socket events, and I'm getting dispatch. I'm gonna be getting use selector, and the type is actually gonna be kind of, let's keep it any for now. And this is kind of gonna be function, but right now as I have that, and after that const permission granted, and again come back here, use the selector, and then I will be getting the state. Once I got the state, so state dot meeting dot permission granted I will be getting. As for the type, root state, I can just directly get it here. So once I got the permission, I will be sending it, and I got the permission of the user, and that's it. By default it is false, so it will be sent a false back to the user. So let's see whether I'm gonna be getting this particular result back to the server or not. So ask to connect is done, so connection is established. After that socket dot on grant join permission data, that's great. Let's go ahead with the things exactly how much it returns. So connection got established, grant join permission, I will be getting the data, and from the data of course I'm getting permission granted or something. Once I got the permission granted, so const new participant, of course it contains the data and all. So new participant is gonna be name, meeting ID, connection host false. So let's do one thing, I already have the data, so I don't really need to worry about it. So the new participant is actually gonna be equals to the data that I have, as simple as that. Not really data is actually gonna be somewhat fine, because data name, is that so? So the data that I'm actually getting, that has all the data that I'm actually returning from the, close this first of all. So from the client side, I'm actually sending the data. And what does this data contain? This data contains meeting participants information. That simply means it contains these things. So when I'm actually returning from here, so data will actually contain the value of the data that it has, and that simply means the data that I'm actually getting here, that is the type of meeting participants. Meeting participant. So this is the type of the data that it has. That simply means that's gonna be the new participant. So I can just do one thing. This is actually gonna be equals to data that I'm actually getting. And why it is asking me to get data? Okay, ultimately this data does contain two things. The data that I'm actually getting, it contains the permission, so it should definitely be data.data. Got it. That is what it was just simply suggesting me. Once I got the new participants, then I'm just simply adding the user. And while adding the user, meeting participants, new participants, and socket I'm sending. And what do I need to have it inside this? When it comes to adding the user, I don't really have that here yet. Didn't I have it, or didn't I create this? This add user, what all? Alrighty, got the call again, but this time I will definitely have to go. But before that, meeting participants, new participant, and the socket. I'm supposed to be sending these things. Fine. That simply means I can come back here, meeting participants, new participants, and socket. So what is the issue here? Overall things are fine. The only issue is with the structure of it. So this way it should actually be fine. And this connection socket, this way it's going to be right. Okay, apart from this particular thing, this permission granted is actually going to be coming from the data, and it has the type. Okay, this does not have the type of meeting participants, so I'm going to be getting permission granted data.data, and I'm just simply going to be adding the user. And once the user is actually added, at that time I have to notify the user and all. So over here I'm just simply sending socket, and other users and including myself, we are going to be informed. So I have to start working on from here onwards. So this is actually gonna be a to do, start working from here on. I'll actually have to go, don't really have any other option. So as soon as I'm back, I will continue from here on. Until then, take care and see you.